Our play is about to start. One question haunts your history books, forever left untold, until tonight, where you get to make your choice. So tell me, who's the most influential person that wrote the Declaration of Independence? June 11, 1776, when the Continental Congress appointed
Thomas Jefferson. Benjamin Franklin. John Adams. Robert R. Livingston.
and
Roger Sherman.
to prepare the Declaration of Independence. These men will later be known as the Committee of Five. The Congress viewed Thomas Jefferson as
The American Mind. I went on to write the rough draft movie between June 11th and 28th of July. After finishing, I passed it along to John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, to revise the document.
the writers had presented it to the Continental Congress, in which they adopted the final version of the Declaration of Independence. On July 4th, 1776, the U.S. is officially its own nation and separate from Great Britain.
I, George Washington, led the 1787 Constitutional Convention, in which 55 representatives from all 13 colonies, except for Rhode Island, all met to sign the United States Constitution to rewrite and amend the Articles of Confederation.
I, James Madison, wrote the Virginia Plan, which served as the foundation of the new U.S. Constitution.
I, Governor Morris, wrote the final draft and the preamble.
I, Alexander Hamilton, was a major advocate of this document and of the Federalist Papers.
I, James Wilson, was a major advocate for the United States Constitution.
Along with those men, 6 others refined the text before it was finalized and passed on September 17, 1787, with 39 signatures. This document has gone on to become the foundational charter for the United States government.
Well, I was the primary author of the Bill of Rights. I originally proposed 19 amendments to ensure that the United States Constitution remained for the people and allowed these documents to change along with our future citizens on June 8, 1789.
As representatives of the Anti-Federalists, we demand that the Bill of Rights grant us protection against governmental overreach.
After much debate, the first Congress has passed 10 amendments that will now be known as the Bill of Rights, which state citizens and the government's rights within our new nation.
All of these men have made an impact on our history books, so was there really a winner?
Well, I think we need to divide the government into 3 different powers.
Why, Mr. Madison?
We need checks and balances, a system to ensure that no one person or group has too much power.
I suppose that's quite a good idea.
Article 1 of the Constitution, a legislative branch, will make the laws that consist of our very own Congress.
You mean Congress as in the Senate and House of Representatives?
Yes.
In a big white building with a dome so tall, there are leaders, workers, working for ourselves. They talk and think and share ideas, listening to people far and near. The House and the Senate are two parts, working together, doing their parts. They read a bill and say, "Is this how things should be?"
I have an idea as well.
Oh, you have lots of ideas, James. We all do. That's why we are the delegates for this convention.
Oh, shush it, Alex. Come here. I must tell you at once. I promise this is a good one.
Wow, I'm shocked. So it's an agreement then?
Yes.
Article 2 of the Constitution, a power which lies solely on the President, Vice President, and Cabinet to sign laws, pardon people, and appoint federal judges. We shall call it the executive branch.
In a big lighthouse in Washington town, there's a team that helps things go down. They make sure laws are carried out right, working hard from morning to night.
The president signed the brand new law. After Congress votes, he says, hurrah, with a pen and a careful look, makes it official like a book.
Their helpers call the cabinet team. They share ideas and help to dream. They give advice and lend a hand to keep things running across the land.
I think we need another branch. Maybe one made up of 9 of those judges who will decide if the laws are unconstitutional with the power to overturn cases and make a new ruling, the judicial branch.
Everyone,
Now, I can only imagine that's how it happened, but it's true. It took many different ideas of men to create our United States government structure.
So we have a three-branch government system made up of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches.
That's how our government works here too in Mexico.
In Brazil, too.
Not so much over here.
What do you mean, Minister Teacher?
Well, we have those three branches, but instead of the president, we have a king, prime minister, and cabinet minister in our executive branch, right? And our legislation branches are monarch, senate, the House of Commons, but on our judicial branch, it's just the courts, like yours, eh?
Wow, so Canada is its own dominion now?
We have been since 1867 with the British North American Act, which made provinces of Canada, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick one domain under the name Canada, even before we had our own Canada Bills of Rights.
Really?
Hey, it's quite like yours, but fundamental freedom like speech, religion, press, assembly also contains a protection that assures our citizens are not cruelly or unashamedly punished for their crimes.
So even though we're different countries, we're still alike?
Yes.
Oh, like how the United Nations keep us all at peace because we all want fair human rights and lack of multinational conflict?
Exactly.
We hold these truths to be self-evident of all men are created equally.
It's 1848 and 68 different women gathered in Seneca Falls for the very first Women's Rights Convention, accompanied by 32 men.
Together we wrote and signed the Declaration of Rights and Sentiments. This document was inspired by the Declaration of Independence, but with added equality.
It outlined the basic rights for men and women, primarily organized by Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who focused on the first wave of women's rights, which was rooted in legal rights, mostly the passing of the 19th Amendment in 1920 that granted women the right to vote. Representatives from Tennessee, like I, helped ratify this amendment, making us the 36th state to do so, which got 34th the vote needed to pass.
Flash forward to the 1960s when I, Esther Peterson, advocated for the Equal Pay Act of 1963 that prohibited gender-based wage discrimination under John F. Kennedy's presidential term, which began the second wave of feminism.
This wave emphasized all women's rights, like politics, work, and finance.
I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemy, in foreign and domestic.
Part of the constitutional oath that Sandra Day O'Connor had to recite when she was sworn in as the first woman to serve as a judge on the Supreme Court. Here you will see her say her judicial oath.
I do solemnly swear that I will administer justice without respect to persons and do equal right to the poor and to the rights, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge all the duties.
So now you see just some of the protests and timelines that women had to go through just to get equal rights. This may seem far away, but only 5 years ago, Kamala Harris was our very first female vice president.
The United States is still working to make rights equal for everyone. We are always changing and evolving into something better than before.